Good morning. Welcome to Yoga with Alberta at the library. We'll be starting up in just a few minutes, and glad to have you here with us. And if you're so inclined, make a comment in the chat comment area and let us know that you're here.
Hello? Is that coming through? Hello? Hello? Testing.
Ready?
All right, yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully people can hear me this morning. Good morning, everybody. My name's Alberta, for those of you who do not know me, and this is yoga at the library. And I'm happy that you are all here in my mind's eye. I've got you all pictured in the room. So, hello to a few of you, Sandra, Sharon, Angie, Roberta, and all the rest of my yogi friends. So if you've never practiced yoga, few things. Make sure you're not hurting yourself in any way. I can't see you, so I can't really tell. So make sure that you're not doing anything that hurts your body. A little stretching is okay. Pain is not okay. Make sure you keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. If you are inclined to have a tie or a strap or anything, a dog leash, that's what I usually have, grab it. We might use it this morning. If you want to practice from a chair, that's fine too. This is your practice, and I'm just happy to be able to lead you through some yoga this morning. So we're going to start either sitting in your chair or lying back on your mat. Get as comfortable as you can be, and I hope you can hear me this morning. Go ahead and lie back and allow yourself to feel totally supported by the floor this morning. Take a moment just to adjust yourself, tucking the shoulders under your back. You can lengthen out through your legs if you want to, or you can keep your knees bent, arms relaxed down beside your body or resting on your belly, whatever feels good to you this morning. And just take a moment to notice that. Noticing any pain or soreness, anything you need to be aware of before practice. Giving yourself permission to be present right here, right now. And after you've noticed how your body feels, then check in with your breath. Noticing, is the breath long and smooth, short and shallow, or something in between? You can go ahead and close your eyes here if you're feeling comfortable. And just watching the breath, watching the inhalations, the exhalations, and the little pauses that happen in between as your body breathes the breath. And we're going to do just a little breathing exercise this morning. Little pranayama is what we call it. Just by lengthening out the exhalation. So as you breathe in, a normal in-breath, say counting 1, 2, 3, and then exhaling, making it a little bit longer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try that for a couple of breaths. Breathing in to a count of 3. Breathing out to a count of 4. And let's make this just a little bit longer. Breathing in to a count of 3. Breathing out to a count of 5. And one more time, breathing in for a count of 3, breathing out for a count of 6. So doubling the exhalation. This changes up the nervous system a little bit, allowing for your heart rate to decrease a little maybe. Your blood pressure to even out if it needs to. And even your inner organs begin to relax. Just by lengthening out the exhalation. And now take it back to your own sweet breath, whatever that is for you. And then maybe set an intention for your practice this morning. Your intention is your reason for being here with me this morning. And that's personal to you. Maybe it's just some stretching. Maybe it's to relax the mind. It's all personal. And then let's begin. Inhale, take your arms to the back of the room, legs to the front of the room, starting out with a nice long stretch. If you haven't done this yet this morning, now is the time. And you can move side to side, doing what feels good to you right now. Good. And then release those arms back down beside your body. Bend your knees and place your feet on the floor. Just about hip width apart. Pressing into the low back. So the low back tail is long and low back is pressed into the floor. Arms long beside your body. Let's move. Inhale, take your arms towards the back of the room. Exhale, bring them back down beside your body. Inhaling back. Exhaling forward. Beginning to synchronize your movements with your breath. So arms and hands may not touch the floor, either direction, that's fine. Just beginning to open up the shoulders a little bit, gaining a little bit more mobility through the shoulders. And then relaxing with your breath. One more time. Inhaling back. Exhaling all the way down and release it beside your body. Good. And then pull one knee into your chest and pull the other knee into your chest, wrapping your hands around your knees, your shins, your thighs, and then pressing those knees into your hands, stretch through the low back a little bit. Tuck your chin to lengthen out through the back of your neck. And then holding onto your knees, let's begin to take these knees in a circle. Just be a little circle, or it could be a bigger circle. A little massage for the low back. And again, see if you can synchronize this with your breath. And then take this the other direction. Bring that back to stillness and pull those knees in a little bit closer to your chest. Relax your shoulders down, away from your ears. Good, and then release your left foot down to the floor, holding on to this right knee with your right hand. And let's begin to take that knee into a circle. Oh my goodness, what did you do? So a little range of motion for the hip joint. And take this the other direction. Pull that knee back into the chest and then take the foot up to the ceiling, wrapping your hands around the back of that thigh. Spread your toes. Hello to your foot this morning. Curl your toes. Wiggle your toes around. We're practicing moving one toe at a time. We've been doing this for a long time. Begin to point and flex your foot. As you point your foot, curl those toes. As you flex, see if you can spread the toes. And just notice what you feel, where you feel it. Circle the ankle. that the other direction. Good, bend, pull that leg in and then bend at the knee, placing this right ankle across the left knee or the left thigh. With your right hand, push that right thigh forward, flexing the toes back towards the knee, so bringing those back. And you can stay here. If you're feeling an opening through this right hip, just relax your shoulders. If you want to take it farther, just pull in the low belly to brace the low back. Pick up the left foot, bringing it into your chest, sliding that right hand right through the eye of the needle. And there's some options. You can let your foot dangle. You can take it parallel to the ceiling. You can take your foot up towards the ceiling or the sky outside, getting a little bit more stretch for the hamstring. And then release it all down to the floor, under your foot. Keeping the right knee bent with the foot on the floor, go ahead and bring that left knee into your chest. Hold it with your left hand and begin to circle that knee in the hip joint. And take that the other direction. Pull the knee back into the chest. Take the foot up to the ceiling, wrapping your hands around the back of that thigh. Spread your toes. Curl your toes. Squeeze them. And then wiggle your toes around. Begin to point and flex your foot. Circle the ankle. Take that the other direction. Good. Bend at the knee, bringing this left ankle across the right knee or the right thigh, flexing the toes back, and leveling out the pelvis. Soften your shoulders. Relax your face. If you want to pick that up, go ahead and bring that into your chest, sliding that hand right in between the thighs, holding onto the back of the right thigh. And again, you can let your foot dangle, take it out parallel. You can rock this on your back a little bit more. Doing whatever feels good to you this morning. Good, and then go ahead and release that all the way back down to the floor. Grab your tie, your strap, your towel, whatever you might have, and if you don't have anything, that's fine too. You could just use your hands. If you have something, go ahead and strap the instep, the middle of your right foot, and take that right foot up towards the ceiling. If you have a nice long tie or strap like I do, you can bring your hands down and rest your elbows on the floor. If you don't, that's okay too. I have used socks before. They work pretty good too. Push through the heel, flex the toes back towards your face, and you can just keep this left knee bent with the foot on the floor. We'll just do it that way this morning. You're going to rotate the inner thigh in, and to do that, as though you're pushing the gas pedal, the mound of the big toe, that will roll in your inner thigh. And just breathe here. It's not a death grip, it's just stretching the hamstring. And if your leg only comes out this far, that's fine. It's more about pushing through the heel, keeping your leg long, but with a tiny little bend in the knee. You never want to lock out your knee. Make sure you're breathing. And then take both sides of the tie into the same hand, so right foot, right hand, walking that hand up towards your foot. Let's take this leg out to the right, stretching the inner thigh. When you do that, your left knee can drop out to the left, and that will help keep you balanced. If you don't have a strap, just take your leg out. You can use your other hand just to hold it out there. And then bring that foot back up towards the ceiling. Switch the hand now, opposite hand with the foot, so left hand, right foot. Keep your pelvis level on the floor, so don't roll up. And then just take this leg to the left, tiny. It's a tiny little move, maybe an inch. And if you can't feel anything, down your leg or the back of your leg, push more through the heel, and you will feel the stretch. Stretching your hamstring, stretching your IT band that runs down the side of your leg from your knee to your hip. Back up to the top. Split the tie or strap, whatever you happen to have, if you have one, and bend and straighten. If you don't have anything, just take your hands behind you, right above your knee, and bend and straighten. Juicing up that knee joint a little bit. And then release it all the way back down to the floor and switch sides. So strapping the instep of your left foot, you can take it long and up, push through that heel. Again, rotate the inner thigh by pushing through the mound of the big toe. See if you can relax your shoulders a little bit. And breathe and breathe and breathe. Tuck your chin slightly so your back of your neck stays nice and long. And then take both sides of the tie into the left hand, left foot. Take that left leg out, and the right knee can drop to the right a little bit, stretching through that inner thigh. These stretches are really good to do after walking or running or biking, any of those things, or just daily. It's real good for the low back and the pelvis area. So I try and teach them in every class I teach. Bring them back up to the ceiling, switch the hand, and take it over tiny. It's a tiny little move, so if the hip is lifting off the floor, that's too far. Push through the heel, that will get you your stretch. Back to the top, and then split the tie or whatever you happen to have, bend and straighten a little bit. One more time. And then release it. Release your foot all the way to the floor, and you can set your tie strap to the side. Pull both knees back into your chest, and let's rock across the back just a little bit. Good. Roll all the way over to one side. and come up to hands and knees. Tabletop position with your hands under your shoulders, just maybe slightly in front of your shoulders, and your knees under your hips. Spread your hands wide on the mat. Take up some space. And when you're pressing down into your hands, make sure like you're gripping the mat. You're taking some of the weight out of the wrist just by gripping the mat. Lengthen out through the spine. Let's lift the back slightly, not rounded, just a nice long back. Pressing into the hands, pressing into the knees. Feel your foundation here, pressing into the tops of the feet. Neck stays nice and long. Always remember that your neck is an extension of your spine. So that's the way we want to keep it. We're going to do some cat and cows. Flexion and extension of the spine. Nice inhalation first. And then as you exhale, the belly's going to pull in and the back rounds up towards the ceiling as you bring your chin in towards your chest. And then as you inhale, it's going to go just the opposite, lifting the chin, lifting the tail, letting the belly sink a little bit. Back and forth. Now if you have low back issues, just keep your low back neutral. It doesn't need to be bending. Back and forth. You can close your eyes if you want to. Really feel the movement of the vertebrae as they move. And if you want to just rock it out a little bit, you can move side to side, front and back. Do what feels good to you this morning. One more time. Good. Bring your knees together. Press down through your hands. Lengthen out through the right leg and take it up to hip level. No higher. Point the toes. You want your hips to be level. This right one wants to come up. See if you can crank that little toe down towards the floor a little bit, and that will help it level out. Might be able to set a cup of hot water there, or tea, or whatever you happen to be drinking this morning. Just lengthen out through your neck. And then if you care to, if you want to take this to a little balance, other arm comes right out there by your ear. You're still looking right down at the mat. Thumb is towards the ceiling. Fingers pointing straight ahead. Breathe. Good. And for anybody that wants to take it even farther, reach back there and see if you can get your foot. Yeah, it may not be there today. Maybe next week, next year, next decade. Maybe never, that's okay. Release it down. Knees together. Let's come down to the elbows for just a second and open and close your hands and circle your wrist around a little bit. Yeah, this is a good position for me, isn't it? Come back up to your hands and knees. Spread the fingers wide, grasping the mat. Lengthen out through the other leg. Take it to hip level. Dial that little toe down so you're leveling out the hips. Point the toes. Relax your shoulders down. And then when you're ready, if you want to, this is always an if you want to, opposite arm right out there by your ear. So this is hunting dog. And if you want the challenge, see if you can find your foot. Good, and then release that all the way down. Take your toes together. your knees wide apart, as wide as your mat or wider than your hips, and set your hips back in child's pose. In child's pose, your arms can be long in front of you, they can be folded under your head, or stack your fist, or you can even bring your hands back by your hips. Just allow yourself to breathe and release a little tension in your low backs and hips. Good. And then lengthen out through your arms. Bring your knees back together. Lengthen out all the way long through your arms. This is extended child's pose. Try and keep your hips low as you can, and walk back both hands all the way over to the right. Get a little side stretch here. Walk your hands back to center, and then all the way over to the left. And back to center. Plant your hands wide as the mat. Come back up onto your knees. Turn your toes under in the back. Turn your elbows so that the center of your, I like to call this the eye of the elbow, is facing front. And then lift your knees, send your hips back. You can keep your knees bent, downward facing dog. When you get here, pedal your feet. If you haven't done a down dog yet this morning, pedal your feet. If this doesn't work for you, puppy pose is good. Just taking your knees down. Again, make sure you're keeping the head and the spine in alignment. So, not looking back at those feet right now. And now walk your feet really, really slowly, little baby steps, all the way up towards your hands till you're in forward fold. Uttanasana. Knees bent a lot. We haven't done this yet this morning, so knees are bent a lot. Let your head dangle. Let your spine release. Breathe. And then bend your knees a lot, keeping your spine nice and long. Inhale, come all the way up to the top. And bring your hands together in front of your heart. Finding our good posture, mountain pose. So feet can be hip width apart, and that means hip bones, or they can be together, whatever feels right for you. Little bend in the knees, legs are strong, belly pulled in, shoulders relaxed, arms relaxed. Yeah, just take a few breaths here. And then let's move. Inhale, take your arms up. And exhale, your arms down. Inhale up. And exhale down. And again. One more time. Bring your arms up this time, and back. Good. Then reach over and take a wrist, and let's take it over to the side, stretching through the side. Make sure you're breathing. Inhale, up. Other side. Back to the top. Release your arms all the way down. And then bring your hands together in front of your heart. Gonna do a little moving here. Inhale. Exhale down, bring your hands down. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold forward with the knees bent. Take your arms long behind you. Inhale all the way up with knees bent. Hands come in front of your heart. We'll do that again. Inhale, exhale down. Stretch up, reach up, look up. Fold forward, arms come back behind you like airplanes. All the way up. Hands come in front of your heart. And again, inhale, exhale down. Stretch up, reach up, fold forward. Arms come back behind you. Pause in your chair like with bent knees. Arms long in front of you. Yeah. All the way up. Hands come in front of your heart. Just take a breath or two here. Body should be starting to warm up a little bit. Okay. Take your feet wide apart. Let's turn your right foot to 90 degrees, straight in front of you. Left foot comes in a third of the way. Bend at the front knee. Turn your torso towards the center of the room. Circle your arms around for warrior two. Take your torso back so you're not leaning forward, but head is over your spine, and again, neck is in line with the spine. And breathe. Good. Reach forward, and then turn the top front hand up, and all the way up to the ceiling, taking that back hand down for reverse warrior, or peaceful warrior. And breathe. And back to warrior two. All the way up. Bring your hands to your hips and step your feet together. Wiggle it out a little bit. Take your feet wide apart. Turn to the other side. Left toes out. Back in a third of the way. Bend at the front knee. Look and make sure that your knee is over your ankle. And then turn your torso. Circle those arms around. Right from the shoulders, warrior two. And then for peaceful warrior, we reach out a little bit, flip the hand, and then the back hand comes down the thigh. And breathe. Good, one more time. Back to warrior two. Hands come to hips. Turn both toes in and your heels out slightly. Stand tall. Take your arms right from the shoulders. So we're in star pose. Bring your hands to your hips. Roll your shoulders back, lift your heart. Inhale, exhale, begin to tip, tipping from the sit bones halfway. Looking right down at the mat. Take a breath. Inhale, exhale, take it down. You can bring your hands to your mat or blocks, a stack of books, or you can hold your elbows. Let your head dangle. Let your spine release. with knees bent a lot, bring your hands back to your hips, roll the shoulders back, nice long spine. Inhale, come all the way back up to the top. Step your feet together, wiggle it out. Even color. Let's take most of your weight into your right foot. Come up to your toes on your left foot and turn that knee out. You can rest your heel on your ankle, or you can bring it to your calf. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. This is real, guys. We're at the library. Whoa, some days you have good balance, some days not worth a darn. Good. Release it down. Wiggle it out. And switch to the other side. Take most of your weight into the other foot. Come up to the toes first, turning your knee out. And you can stay right here with your heel resting on your ankle, like a bicycle kickstand. Or you can pick that foot up and place it on your calf. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Breathe. Sit down, wiggle it out. Take your feet wide apart again. Turn your right toes to 90, get back foot a third of the way. This time we're going to keep our legs long and strong as we do some triangles. So it starts with hip action. You want to take that hip back and let the front hand just slide down your thigh to wherever it happens to go. Let's just go to the thigh to start with. The other hand wraps around your back, open up through the shoulder. Yeah. Take a breath or two here. And maybe slide that front hand down a little bit, but keeping the back long, so you don't want to hunch over up as though you're up against the wall. Take your head back. And then maybe you can take the top arm towards the ceiling. Maybe you can lengthen just a little bit more. Yeah. So now take the top arm to horizontal, straight out in front of you. Take it back to vertical. Take the bottom arm to horizontal. You're holding that platter in your hand. Whoa. Strong legs here, guys. Press into those feet. Take that bottom arm back to vertical. Inhale all the way up as though you have someone pulling on your fingers all the way back up. And let's wiggle that out. Step your feet together. Wiggle it out. Step your feet wide apart. We'll do it on the other side. Toes to 90 degrees. Back foot a third of the way. Nice, long, strong legs. So you should feel like you're pressing down into all four corners of the feet. Good. And then we're going to take the front hand, just slide it down your thigh a little bit. Take the back hand, wrap it around your back, and open the shoulder as though you're up against the wall. Up against the wall, if you have a spare wall, is a really great way to practice triangle. Maybe you can slide your hand down a little farther, open the shoulder a little more, and then take that top arm up. Where to put your gaze? You can put it at the floor, straight out in front of you or looking up at the top hand. A lot of balance going on here, a lot of strengthening, a lot of balance. Let's take that top arm to horizontal, straight out in front of you. Changes things, right? Take it back to vertical. Take that bottom arm to horizontal. See if you can not hunch over. Yeah. Back to vertical. All the way up. Good. Step your feet together. Wiggle that one out. Yeah. So we're going to do one more just for the shoulders. And we'll leave the legs out of it this time. Take your arms straight out from your body. Bend at the elbows. And let's take it up. And in. So, as though you have the world on your hands, it's really heavy. Pull those shoulder blades back together. The Atlas character. Really pull the shoulder blades back together. One more time. Good. Take your arms straight out from your body. Take right arm over left, crisscross the arms. Take it to eagle's arms. Now, if this doesn't work for you, you can take it across your chest, give yourself a hug. Lift the elbows, tuck your head slightly, and breathe. Good. Lift the elbows. Let the shoulders drop a little bit more. And then under your arms all the way out. And let's roll those shoulders up. Yeah. Take your arms straight out again. Take your hands down. Big hands up. Hands down. Hands up. One more time. Hands down. Hands up. Left over right. Back to eagle's arms. Lift your elbows. Let your shoulders relax down. Or give yourself a hug. Some people are bigger through the shoulders, wider shoulders, and so this is not a really good way for them to do this. Just breathe. Release it all the way out. And one more time, roll it out. Step to the short edge of your mat if you're not there already, and line up the outside edges of your feet with the outside edges of your mat. Put a little bend in the knees and inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. If your hands are comfortable reaching the floor, mine took about 20 years to get here, no kidding. You can take them to the outside edges of your feet. If they're not comfortable here, just take your elbows in your hands. And that's fine. That's a really good way to do it, to experience forward fold and allowing your hamstrings to lengthen a little bit more. Number one pose for low stress release is a forward fold. Even sitting in a chair, letting your head dangle a little bit lower than your heart is good. Like if you've got an important meeting to go to, or you can just do a forward fold. Bring your hands down to your mat, bend your knees, and then come all the way down and just lay on your belly. That's one a little bit more for the back. As you lay on your belly, have your hands just right outside your shoulders. And pull your belly in, press into your pelvic bone, and press into the tops of your feet. Roll your shoulders back. And then on an inhale, lift your head and lift your shoulders. This is Cobra. And it can be little. It doesn't have to be big. We're just working on strengthening the back. Release it down. Let's do that one again. Pull your belly in. Press into the tops of your feet. Press into your pubic bone. Squeeze your butt just about halfway. So really squeeze it and then let off. And then inhale. Take it up just a little. Keeping the shoulder blades back together. And release it down. And now take your hands off the mat, or even wider than where you have them. Elbows reaching up towards the ceiling, so you look like goalposts now. Pull the belly in. Press into the tops of the feet. Inhale, lift. Oh, yeah. See what happens. You can lift a little higher. Maybe even take your gaze a little forward. Still strengthening. Release it all the way down. Fold your arms and rest your forehead on your arms. Bring your legs long behind you. Keeping the left leg on the floor, lift your right leg long. It doesn't have to be very far, just a few inches. Release it down. Lift the left leg. Release it down. Back to the right. Release it. Left. Release it. One more time. Just strengthening the lower back a little bit. And down, and one more time on the left. Good. Bend your knees with your forehead resting on your forearms. Let your knees just flip-flop side to side like windshield wipers. Releasing any tension in the low back. And then carefully make your way over to your back. And when you get here, just take a moment just to, with knees bent, feet on the floor, settle in, tucking your chin. Bringing your feet close to your bottom. With your elbows bent, fingers reaching towards the ceiling. Pull the low back and the belly in. And then lift your hips. Tuck your chin slightly. Carefully roll down your back. One vertebrae at a time, or best you can. I always found that sort of difficult. But it's something we say. And then when you get to the very bottom of your tailbone, roll it back up. And when you get to the top, roll it back in. We call these bridge waves in the particular yoga school that I went to. One more time. Just rolling up and down, releasing the spine. And then pull both knees back into your chest again. Maybe rock across your back. If you care to, you can take this to a little inversion and reach up and get either the insides of your feet or the outsides of your feet, or maybe just one foot. Happy baby. I'm a half happy baby today. just doing one foot at a time. Make sure you do both. Or just pulling the knees in. Good. Set your feet down. Lift your hips and set them to the right about 3 inches. Pull the knees back in and let your knees drop to the left. A little twist. You can rest that left hand on your knees if you want to, or out to the side. Whatever feels good to you. Just breathe. And then carefully bring it back up to the top. Set your feet down. Straighten out your spine. And then set your hips about 3 inches or so to the left. Knees in. Drop to the right. And then back to the center. Release your feet. Find your Shavasana. So if you like lying on your back, this is how I like to sit up, starting with knees bent, feet on the floor, picking up the hips and sliding the flesh of your butt down towards your heels, and then lengthening out one leg and lengthening out the other leg. Wide. Taking both hands to lift the head slightly, just lengthen and stretch the back of the neck, and then set your head back down so it feels like you're sitting on a flat part. And then last, giving yourself a nice big hug, splitting the shoulder blades, and then arms down beside your body, away from your body with palms facing up towards the ceiling. You can cover your eyes, you can close your eyes, and rest. Trying not to skip Shavasana. It's so important to allow your body to take in the work that you've done over this past hour, to let your nervous system feel all the feel-goods. Just nice, even breaths. You can stay here as long as you want to, or you can begin to deepen your breaths, wiggling your fingers and your toes, rocking your head side to side, and then bending one knee at a time. Roll to your favorite side and lie on your side for a few breaths. And then using your arm strength, push your way up to a comfortable seated position. Sitting nice and tall, head over heart, heart over pelvis. Bring your hands together in front of your heart with your thumbs touching your heart space. Bow your head slightly, offering yourself a little bit of gratitude for taking the time and making the effort to give yourself this gift of yoga. I thank each one of you out there for coming today, sharing your practice, sharing your light. I feel your presence across the waves. Please leave me a comment on if you could hear me, if there's other things you would like to see. I'm just grateful to be here. The light in me sees and honors the light in me, which means I'm pretty awesome and you're pretty awesome too. Namaste.
So in July, we're anticipating being out in one of the parks, in one of the pavilions. So we'll be back to doing it live, but not at the library. Bye.